Most people think Interstellar is just a brilliant movie about space travel. But what if I told you the real twist isn't out there among the stars, but right here in the human heart? This is a story about time, memory, and love fighting a war against the cold, hard laws of the universe. And that ending, the one everyone debates, it wasn't a miracle. It was the result of a single choice, a promise made long before the spaceship even left the ground. Our story doesn't begin in the cosmos, but on a dying Earth. Crops are failing. Dust storms roll across the land like tired oceans, and humanity is quietly preparing for extinction. It feels like a near-future version of the American Dust Bowl, a scientifically plausible nightmare. In the middle of this slow collapse lives Cooper, a former pilot turned farmer. He's restless, frustrated, and feels the world shrinking around him. But the most powerful part of this opening isn't the dust or the failing cornfields. It's the unspoken tension between a father and his daughter, Murph, who see the world in completely different ways. Murph believes a ghost is talking to her. It's not supernatural, though it's physics. Books fall off shelves in patterns, dust settles in lines of code, and compasses spin wildly. These are the first hints of gravitational anomalies, something real science recognizes but can't fully explain. Cooper, a man of science, decides to follow these clues. His investigation leads him to a stunning discovery, a secret, underground NASA. In a world where resources are too scarce for public space programs, NASA has been hiding, planning one last, desperate mission to save humanity. The plan is both simple and impossible. They need to travel through a newly discovered wormhole near Saturn, explore 12 potentially habitable planets in another galaxy, and find a new home. Wormholes are a real theoretical prediction of Einstein's general relativity, and the film's depiction is stunningly accurate based on how physicists imagine spacetime bending. Cooper, with his piloting background, is the perfect person for the job. And this is where the heart of the story truly begins to break. The emotional conflict is immediate and raw. Murph begs her father not to go. She doesn't care about equations or humanity's survival. She just wants her dad. But Cooper leaves. He makes a promise to return, strapping a matching watch to her wrist. It's one of the most painful scenes in cinema because it captures a devastating truth. Sometimes, saving the world means breaking the heart of the person who means the world to you. Once the crew is in space, the story shifts from emotional drama to intense scientific tension. They pass through the wormhole, and the visuals stay remarkably faithful to theoretical physics. There are no flashy lights or bizarre animations, just a calm, beautiful bending of spacetime. On the other side, they find themselves in a system orbiting a supermassive black hole named Gargantua. And this is where Interstellar becomes famous for its mind-bending depiction of time dilation. Time really does pass slower near massive gravitational objects. The movie exaggerates the effect for dramatic impact, but the core concept is sound. Their first stop is a water planet orbiting dangerously close to Gargantua. Here, every hour on the surface is equivalent to 7 years back on Earth. The crew lands, but it's a catastrophe. Giant tidal waves, pulled by the black hole's gravity, slam their ship and delay their escape. When they finally make it back to their main vessel in orbit, a gut punch of reality is waiting for them. 23 years have passed. Romilly, the crew member who stayed behind, has aged, his face etched with loneliness and the passage of time. This single moment shows the cruel indifference of relativity. Time is not the same for everyone, and the universe doesn't care about our promises. Back on Earth, a grown-up Murph is now a brilliant physicist working with Professor Brand at NASA. She's still angry at her father for leaving, but she's dedicated her life to solving the gravity equation, a formula that would allow humanity to lift massive space stations off the dying planet. But then she uncovers a devastating secret. Professor Brand knew for years that the equation was unsolvable without data from inside a black hole, data that's impossible to get. Plan A, saving the people on Earth, was a lie. It was a lie to give people hope. The only real plan was Plan B, starting a new colony with frozen embryos. Murph realizes that she and everyone she loves was abandoned from the very beginning. Meanwhile, in the distant galaxy, Cooper's mission takes a dark psychological turn. They travel to a planet recommended by a celebrated scientist, Dr. Mon. But his world is a frozen wasteland. Mon had faked his data, broadcasting lies across the galaxy because he couldn't bear the thought of dying alone. This reveals one of the movie's most terrifying truths. Even the most brilliant and noble among us can be broken by isolation and fear. Mon tries to kill Cooper and hijack the ship, but his desperate attempt to dock fails, resulting in a catastrophic explosion. This is a powerful metaphor. Broken trust can destroy a mission faster than any black hole. With fuel running low, Cooper makes the ultimate sacrifice. He decides to detach his ship and fall into Gargantua. This maneuver sheds weight, giving Amelia Brand just enough thrust to reach the final habitable planet. In the real world, this is a suicide mission. Nothing can survive crossing a black hole's event horizon. But this is where the movie takes a leap from physics into something more profound. Cooper doesn't die. Instead, he enters the Tesseract. This isn't a physical place, but a construct, a higher dimensional space created by a mysterious, advanced civilization that exists in 5 dimensions. The film portrays this not as literal science, but as a symbolic bridge between physics and emotion. Inside the Tesseract, time becomes a physical dimension. Cooper can see every moment of his daughter's childhood bedroom laid out before him like a library of memories. He realizes the ghost from Murph's childhood wasn't a ghost at all. It was him reaching across time and space. This is the emotional core of the entire film. Cooper desperately tries to communicate with his daughter, using the only force that can transcend dimensions, gravity. He manipulates the dust, pushes the books, and sends the quantum data needed to solve the gravity equation through the hands of his watch using Morse code. Love becomes the medium, and gravity becomes the message. Back on Earth, the adult Murph finally understands. Her father never abandoned her. He was with her all along. That connection, that love, was the key that saved humanity. Once the message is sent, the Tesseract collapses, and Cooper is ejected back through the wormhole near Saturn. He's rescued by a sprawling space station, a Cooper station, named after his daughter, Murph Cooper, who solved the equation and led humanity off Earth. He awakens decades later, biologically younger than his own daughter, who is now a frail old woman on her deathbed. Time has played its final, cruel trick. The reunion is heartbreakingly brief. Murph, surrounded by her own family, tells him to go. Her journey is over, but his is not. The film ends with Cooper, alone again, taking a small ship to find Amelia Brand on the new world she's begun to colonize. It's a quiet, hopeful ending. Interstellar isn't a story about science saving us. It's a story about how our humanity, our connections, and our love allow us to survive the vast, uncaring emptiness of the universe. The black hole, the wormhole, the time dilation, they are all just plot devices that revolve around one central, powerful idea. Love is the one thing that transcends time and space. It's not scientifically measurable, but it is emotionally undeniable. And that is the true, beautiful meaning of Interstellar. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more content. See you next time.